Welcome to the AFC North Roundtable, a weekly live show featuring top-tier insight and analysis on all things AFC North from the best creators in the division, including Baltimore Ravens creator Sam, Pittsburgh Steelers creator Mark, Cleveland Browns creator Chef Zay, and Cincinnati Bengals creator Zim. Catch the AFC North Roundtable every Wednesday at... On the comeback, not so much. Who is on the comeback? The Baltimore Ravens. They are making things interesting in the division, right on the heels of the Pittsburgh Steelers after blanking the Bengals this past Sunday. We'll also talk about Shedeur Sanders in yet another start. 3 interceptions this time around. The Browns get rolled by the Chicago Bears. We'll talk about all that and more right here on the AFC North Roundtable. On the back half of the episode, we look forward to Week 16, giving you our previews and predictions for what's to come later on in the week. But for now, let's bring in the fellas. Mark, Zim, Sam, and Zay. I heard through the grapevine he's a little nervous to talk about Bills Browns this upcoming weekend, so he's taking the night off. But we'll have Zay back next week. No, I'm just kidding. He's got a family obligation he's got to get to. Tonight it is holiday season, so tons of stuff going on. But Zay will be back next week to talk about what inevitably might be a loss for his Cleveland Browns. But let's talk about what we saw this past weekend, and let's start with the interdivisional battle that felt like a lot was on the line here. The Baltimore Ravens had lost the last time out to the Cincinnati Bengals on Thanksgiving, and it really wasn't close. They got doubled up. Lamar Jackson turned the ball over numerous times, and the Bengals really ran away with it. If the Ravens wanted to remain in a fight for the North here with the Steelers, this felt like a must-win, and they played like it was a must-win. They got it done like it was a must-win. Baltimore 24, Cincinnati 0. I still can't believe we watched this offense get blanked, an offense that we are consistently watching put up 30-plus points with Joe Burrow. Lamar Jackson, it only took 12 pass attempts to get this game done. 150 yards on those 12 attempts, 2 touchdowns, a pick. Derrick Henry went for 100 yards on just 11 carries. On the other side of things, Joe Burrow threw it nearly 40 times. No touchdowns, obviously, 2 interceptions. Jamar Chase had a great day, but with no T. Higgins, that was to be expected. What wasn't to be expected was a goose egg for the Cincinnati Bengals in this one. Mark, what did you make of the Ravens shutting out Cincy on Sunday?
Yeah, this definitely was one where they had to have it. Obviously, now they've been eliminated. For the first time in probably fucking history, I was rooting for the Bengals to win, to have a bit of a gap over us to the Steelers and the Ravens, and now it's a 2-horse race. But yeah, eventually their season comes to an end. I think that, Joe Burrow in the media, from my perspective, and I want to hear what Zim's thinking and stuff like that. But from my perspective, it looks like they're frustrated. It looks like they're not on all cylinders. Their defense is allowing now the most points. They're getting shut out 24-0. The one big turning point was that pick that Kyle Van Noy, who's still going in the league, hand that ball off for a touchdown. So it would have been interesting from an NFL perspective to see the Bengals win this one and make like the AFC North race. If we lose a few games and they're back in it, but thankfully that they've been eliminated, but it would have been nice for them to help us out. But I think there's more going on behind doors. I think that this Joe Burrow thing, from my perspective, I'm not saying they're going to trade him. I'm not saying he wants to leave. He wants this and wants that. But there is more things behind closed doors than him being. It doesn't seem too happy with the organization right now. So this now is a 2-horse race, and the Bengals yet again are out. But there's something going on, Z-Bot, behind closed doors with the Bengals. Something up.
Yeah, Burrow doesn't seem all too thrilled with the organization. He doesn't seem too all thrilled with himself. Back-to-back weeks with pick sixes, and he said that if he were the quarterback of any team in the NFL on Sunday, not a single one of those teams would have won the football game. Zim looked really good against Buffalo, looked good against Baltimore the week before. At the very minimum, you're thinking this offense is going to have you in games, and that was the shocker here. The fact that they don't put up a single point on the board. Back-to-back pick sixes for Joe Burrow in back-to-back weeks here, and now once again, Joe Burrow at the podium. Not saying anything specifically, but just enough to where people are talking about it. So what are you making of this whole thing here with Cincy, especially after getting blanked by Baltimore?
I think it's a lot going on. I think in the mind of Joe Burrow, I think for the most part, for him to just the way he's answering the questions, and he's like these long, thought-provoking, like simple questions that they're asking him, and he could slam the door shut. Like he said one earlier today where he was like, yeah, like I'm paraphrasing, but it's like, yeah, you know, like we're human, so you know, of course you think about like stuff when they asked him about like is he going to be the quarterback for the Bengals in 2026? He said, yes, I am. Like, yeah, I can't see a scenario where I'm not. But then he comes back and instead of slamming the door shut, he's like, yeah, like, yeah, as humans, you know, like we you know, you think about a lot of things. And I just thought that was kind of weak. And this to me, it's kind of weak to me because this is all after. Remember, the Bengals, yes, they haven't made the playoffs, but this is the first time that they haven't had like a winning record or even in that, you know, in that frame of mind. Like this is like 4 or 5 straight winning seasons. Whether I mean, I know they didn't make the playoffs, but he hasn't been there. There's all these different things, so we never seen him in this mode. But you come off of 2 back-to-back games where, like, bro, you threw a pick 6. You know what I'm saying? Like you threw a pick 6, you threw a pick to like in a game that you had full control of. Then you come back the next week and then pretty much do like the same thing. We doubled the time of possession in that game. We was in the Ravens red zone like 4 or 5 times and walked away with no points. And then to have those answers like coincide with it, I don't know. I just think the timing of it is bad. I think it's weak. And I feel like he could slam the door shut on a lot of these different topics. Like, I don't think Josh Allen or Pat Mahomes are thinking about them hypothetically in another location or anything like that. Like you just get a question like that, and that's the easy slam. Like I love being here. Now later in the conversation, and if you watch the whole presser, it's not like what that headline is like pulling the one part because, like I said, he does say I want to play for the Bengals, but I do think that it's kind of weird that he's like in that same presser. He's like, yeah, I think I like these coaches and stuff, but I'm not. We definitely got to change a lot, and we got to get more creative and different things like that. And to me, that's a more like politically correct answer, and he's not doing that. And I think mentally, like I think he's doing some soul searching right now because he's in a weird spot. Like you know, we were on the show, and y'all were asking me about signing all these people. Joe Burrow was coming to Radio Row and saying, I want Mike Gesicki, Trey Hendrickson, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and they gave him that. And I know they didn't plan to give him the worst defense in the world, but they gave a predominantly defensive draft, and they've done some things that I think he was on record saying he liked. So now to say that, like, I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy because they haven't done enough, you know, to support him. But this notion that they didn't do anything is like super crazy to me.
Yeah, and it does feel like a veteran quarterback would know enough to not do what he's doing, and he clearly knows what he's doing. He's not an idiot. Joe Burrow knows exactly what he's doing. So I don't know exactly what he's trying to do. I think that's the question here. Maybe just plant some seeds, get people talking. We know he's pretty good at that. That's why they've signed all those guys in the past year. But I think you're nailing it, Zim. The difference seems to be here that the last couple of weeks he played a pretty heavy hand in those losses where I think you look last year and it's like everyone felt bad for Joe Burrow. They were dropping 40 points a week and it just wasn't close. So we'll keep an eye on it. I mean, it's awfully interesting. And this is a different era, by the way, where these guys want to win and, you know, they don't want to sit around and let time fly by without winning. And they'll let you know it. I mean, that's the difference in this game.
I might be an old school fan.
Same.
And Bengals fans probably aren't going to like me. I'm a Bengals fan. Like,
right. Yes. And at the end of the day, so is everybody.
Like all of that stuff that they're like, yeah, wherever he goes, nah, I'm not that guy.
No.
I'm a Bengals guy, and yeah, you're under contract, and yeah, like we're giving you $55 million, and you got the #1 weapons in all the football. Yeah, tough titties, bro. Like. When he was talking today, I was like, yeah, somebody take his mic. That's how I was feeling. Like, take his mic, get him off the stage, bro. Like, that doesn't mean that I'm hating on Burrow, but like I've been doing this my whole life, like telling people like I'm a Bengals fan, I love the Bengals, I want the Bengals to win. Nothing trumps that. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just old school with it. Like, I don't care what they're talking about as far as like what he wants. Bro got hella weapons. He came to the podium last week. He also said this is the best offensive line I ever had. He got a top 3 kicker. He got a top 10 pass protector offensive line. I don't know. Like, I don't think they've done enough. But at the same time, like, I need my quarterback to stand up there and just stand 10 toes, like, and handle all that behind the scenes. He can say he hates everybody in the room. I hate the front office, whatever. Come to the podium and be a professional and just lay it out and then cook everybody and just be like, hey, look, I'm a Bengal. Deal with it. He could go behind the scenes and be like, hey, bro, y'all better do something or I'm out of here. But nobody trying to hear all that crap, bro.
Totally agree, Sam. We've, been down this road a little bit with Lamar in the past, but it certainly helps when you get W's like this, and they needed this one. They really did. Going into it, I don't think we knew if Baltimore was capable of doing this in the middle of December, the way they've been playing the last month, but they stepped up. They showed out in a huge game that they had to have, especially going down the stretch here where you play New England. You got to play Pittsburgh in a massive game at the end. So what did you make of how Baltimore was able to step up and really bounce back against the team that they just got worked against 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, so 2 parts to my response. I definitely want to touch on what Zim said about Joe Burrow because he's absolutely right. I mean, Joe Burrow asked for this. Joe Burrow is the one that asked for T. Higgins. Joe Burrow is the one that put his, stamp of approval on the whole thing. So Joe Burrow can't blame the front office for this. This is all on, I won't say all on Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow has a hand to play in how this team is constructed. So I'd be hyped if I was Joe Burrow. I know you're not excited about the win, but I mean, you still have a top-tier offense. You hope that the front office goes into the draft and tries to improve it, and even free agency that tries to improve this defense. But you're in a good spot of you, Joe. I'm not really understanding the notion of him coming out and blasting the team, on camera, but that's just me. Very similar situation with me and the Ravens. I'm a Ravens fan first and not really, toting on who these players are. If Lamar Jackson goes somewhere else, see you, Lamar. I mean, so that's
be careful. Be careful.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling what Zim is saying. I know Ravens fans don't like that, but I just want to throw that out there.
I think that's crazy, by the way, that fan bases find that controversial.
Yeah,
that is insane.
They do.
That is insane to me.
The new age fan, the internet fan is my bad. I ain't trying to talk, but it's different, bro. It's very different.
I'm sorry. It's worth talking about because that's just nuts to me. That's just insane to me. Like,
bro. My group chats, they be like, bro, like where he goes, man. The front office is trash. I'm like, okay, bye.
See ya.
Bye. Like people at games do not talk like the people on the internet.
No.
At games, we're looking at play by play. Nobody sees an incomplete pass that says, man, I wish this front office would get us some more. Like in the middle of it, bro. Like if you've ever played sports or anything, you're watching play by play. When Joe Burrow threw a pick in the game, I'm not saying, damn, bro, why the front office ain't aid him? I'm saying, this just happened? You know what I mean? Like, you're looking at plays and then you're analyzing it. On the internet, these people are talking like they should have did this and that. Like, bro, I am not with that housewives of Cincinnati shit. I am not with none of that gossip shit. I like football. All that off the field stuff, that's all season. So I'm sick. Then I got packed up and I'm in here talking about all that shit is like, I don't know. Like that's that stuff I don't like. Like I just like talking football, bro. And so they make it so about like the politics of, oh, that's what it should. Remember, everybody said, man, he should force a trade to Miami. Miami ain't won a goddamn playoff game in 25 years. And they just benched their quarterback. Like, yeah, that's a hell of a destination. Like, relax, bro. Like, this is crazy. But can I say, I didn't say this. That was a great win by the Ravens. I thought that they handled business. I thought the Bengals offense came out very flat, and I thought the Ravens took advantage of it. It was a close game at the beginning. There's some things that they didn't happen our way, but I thought the Ravens took care of business like good teams are supposed to do. We'll talk about their games coming up, but they did what they had to do against a bad defense and a bad team.
And Mark, you really did. That's the key here. They really took advantage to the point where you blanked them, and I don't think anybody could have predicted that.
No, yeah, and I predicted the Ravens were going to lose this game, so I'm not going to be too hype about this win because that'll make me kind of a hypocrite. But I will say the thing I love the most about this and what I've thought about since that game is that the front four of the Ravens has finally flipped the switch in some aspects. I think Tavius Robinson, his return, I did not expect Tavius Robinson's return to have this type of impact on the defensive line. I thought he was more of a edge setter, somebody that can be there to stop the run. He has shown flashes as a pass rusher, but he transformed this entire defensive front to the point where the Ravens didn't have to blitz as much. There were 7 guys back at most times, and that made it complicated so that when a guy like Jamar Chase drops the pass, there's 2 guys behind him ready to pick it off and go the other way. I think that was really much the game in this one. So the front four is the story for the Ravens fans out there. It's the story for the defense out there. So if the Ravens are going to do anything these last 3 games, it's going to be this front four continuing to excel, getting pressure consistently. that's going to be the name of the game. So if the Ravens front four can do this, they're going to be a problem. But I would say that was the notion for me taking away from this game. Yeah, the Ravens shut out the Bengals. I think some of that has to do with what the Bengals got going on. I know the Ravens, Lamar only threw the ball, 8 completions in that contest. There was a lot of running the ball and just taking control of the game, what you want to see. But I think all of that can be shifted aside. The one thing that is the story for the Ravens fans out there and for the Ravens is just that front four is starting to put pressure. They're not going to be the Browns and the Texans as far as getting the pressure, but if they can be middle of the pack, they're going to be a problem for opposing offenses moving forward.
No doubt about it. It was a huge win for Baltimore. They get it done. They'll look to get another big win this upcoming weekend against the New England Patriots in prime time. We'll talk about that in just a bit. The reason that was a big win is because they have to keep pace with the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are still at the top of the division, and they allowed themselves to be at the top of the division still by dominating the Miami Dolphins. It was a slow first half, no offense to be found in the first quarter, really none in the second quarter. This game went to half 7-3. The Pittsburgh Steelers would wind up walking out of the building with a 28-15 W. Kenneth Gainwell went off. Aaron Rodgers couldn't have been more efficient. 23-27, 224, 2 touchdowns. DK Metcalf had a solid showing in this one as well. And Tua, he was Tua. Couldn't do anything in the beginning of the football game. Did not score until the game was well in hand. Once again, a game where it's 40 degrees or less, and this Miami offense is nowhere to be found. Tua, nowhere to be found. Tua can now be found on the bench, by the way. They announced today, the Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa will be benched the rest of the year. He has come a long way, in a bad way, from that contract extension he got not all that long ago, and now major quarterback controversy for next year in Miami. But for now, Mark, no controversy in Pittsburgh. A W is a W, a big one at that. I'll start with Sam, though, on this one. Steelers are able to get it done. Miami was on a bit of a heater here. Let's not lose that in all of this. They were stacking games. So this is a solid win by Pittsburgh at home.
I'm not going to, sugarcoat it. I'm not going to try and bring down the Steelers with this one because, to your point, the Dolphins won 4 straight games. They were 6-7 heading into this contest. Are the Dolphins going to be in the postseason? Are they a postseason threat? No, but that doesn't take away from what the Steelers did. If I'm being honest, I'm impressed with what the Steelers did, especially on offense. I think hopefully this isn't a notion of them turning a corner because that's going to be a scary thing. Aaron Rodgers looked pretty decent for the second straight week. If he's going to be this quarterback moving forward, we're in trouble because that offense looked like it was humming. They weren't like explosive by any means, but he was very methodical. He knew what the Dolphins were trying to do on defense, and he had an answer for it each and every play. So that's the good thing about the Steelers. We'll see what they do next week against the Lions because that's going to be really a good test for them. Kind of similar to what the Ravens had to face with this Bengals offense. If the Steelers come out here and show out against the Lions team who looks like they're fighting for the postseason as well, then that'll change my tune a little bit. But overall, good win. I'm pretty sick about it, to be quite honest, because it means that the Ravens have to continue to win. But, solid win by the Steelers. Hopefully they don't continue to win.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier for either of those two teams, right? You got the Ravens taking on the Pats. You mentioned it, Sam. Mark and his Steelers taking on a desperate Lions team. Both those teams 8-6. Steelers improved to 8-6 in with this domination of the Miami Dolphins on Monday Night Football. What did you make of their ability to overcome that pretty weak first half and really dominate in the second half?
I thought that, like a lot of the takes that I've said throughout the season on the Steelers, I think they've been proving me wrong like over and over again. Like, I think some of those things will still, rear its head when it comes into a critical game, like in a playoff format. But the landscape of football right now is about these matchups. And there are some matchups that I think that they would give a lot of teams some problems. Like if they were to run into I know I'm looking ahead. They beat the hell out of the Dolphins. But if they were to run into a team that's kind of like a pedestrian offensive team, like a team like that, I think the Texans would hurt like a very explosive offensive team. But the Texans have a problem scoring themselves. There are some favorable matchups, I think, or you look at like a team like the Chargers that have a really bad offensive line right now. And then you got no Derek Harmon and TJ Watt were both out, I think, in this game. You start putting those things together. If they can muck it up and make it low-scoring games. So it's different now that all the big dogs are all the high-scoring offenses that I would have been there's no way that they could score with them. The landscape of this is getting very interesting when you think about the makeup of their team because they're made to win those winner games smash mouth, low scoring games, which hasn't been in the NFL. But now all of the quarterbacks that were scoring all these points aren't scoring all these points. And that, I just think, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to see how that now could like work in their favor. And, you know, football is about different quarters or how you split up in seasons. I think in season 1, season 2, I just was like, man, these dudes is weak. But now as they've gelled and gone and found out different things that work for them, and then you put that in conjunction with the matchups that could be favorable, I think that they're a good team.
Well, they're good enough right now to be atop of the North. And Mark, they were good enough on Monday night to roll the Miami Dolphins in the second half. I mean, what did you make of this? Because it really felt like they hit a speed boost at halftime, looking like a completely different team in the last 30 minutes.
Like, can we clip that again? Zim said they were a good team. Clip that. Zim said they were a good team. Look, they're playing good football. The Steelers right now, and this is why I went on the angry rant last week, because some of the Steelers fan base, even the guys in the crowd, were yelling fire Tomlin. They're not going to fire Tomlin. They're now sitting at what'll be 8-6, or what do we are to have a chance to win 4 games or next 3 games in a row to win the division. It might even come down to Steelers versus Ravens in the very last game if we lose a few. But this game, guys, was pretty big. This is the 23rd or 22nd time the Steelers have won Monday Night Football at home. I think 11 for Cowher, 11 for Coach Tomlin. In the cold as well, the Dolphins, they can't play in the cold, -40, which is freezing. Tua was getting beat up. You had Ramsey having a sack. We had no Derek Harmon. They held the run to A-chain to 60 yards. Some other key notes were we had a left tackle out, Andres Pete. He was out, and also Broderick Jones is in there because he's got a neck injury too. And they started 2-year player Dylan Cook, who has never played an NFL snap in his life, I think till last week or something like that. So big shout out to him. They had no James Pierre, and he's been coming off teams, and he's been worked his way to the cornerback room. And they started on Asante Samuel Jr., who got a pick. Now, this is the big thing. Can the Steelers back it up by week to week and start build that consistency and play solid football, physical football, going into the Lions? And you don't have to win this one. You just need to beat the Ravens in week 18. However, I think if you have any chance to win a playoff and get that voodoo off the back of your shoulders for 9 years in a row, because that's all we talk about. Fucking Steelers fans, if you're winning or losing or whatever it is, we haven't won a playoff game in 10 years. We all know they haven't won a playoff game in 10 years. We understand that, but at least we have a chance to get in the dance. And they can be consistent. Rodgers right now, I think from his press conferences to his football play on the field, he looks like a guy that is in playoff mode. He looks like a guy that he signed a team to the Steelers. The reason why he's here because they give him a chance to go for a run, and also the Steelers signed him because that gives them a chance to go for a run too. This can be a scary team. They just need to be consistent. The Gainwell went absolutely off. Jalen Warren had a bit of a cold, a bit of a flu, a bit of a sickness, so he didn't run as well. Did okay, but Gainwell went crazy. Had something like 100-something plus yards, receiving and rushing together. Darnell made a big impact. He had eight Dolphins on him one time. There was big plays by DK Metcalf. This was a domination, and don't let the score fool you being 28-15. That was garbage time right near the end. But my biggest thing, we'll talk about it coming out in the last 3 weeks, it definitely is, can they be consistent? Can this team be consistent and back it up and play this Steel type of football in December? And I think it does come down to Rodgers had probably his best game of his Steelers career. There's even now talk around the internet now, will they bring him back? Will Rodgers come back in for, if Philip Rivers can do it, if he's 43 coming back next year. But to end on a high note, and I think to win this division, no matter what happens with the Ravens, you just got to win your game. Next game, Lions, Browns, Ravens, win all 3, become 11-6 and win the division on a high note. And what we've been seeing all season is the inconsistency trying to be consistent. 1 week they win really well against the Vikings. Next minute they lose. They lose against, we got smashed by the Bills. We got beat by the Bears. So, and they can also say, it's only the Dolphins. But they did have a really good rushing attack, and they stopped that. So my biggest takeaway definitely is this Aaron Rodgers he could be, fellas, he could be the difference. If he starts to light it up and find his targets, and they got Adam Thielen out there from the Vikings now. He's not a crazy receiver. He's in his old school years. Same with MVS. but things are working. And Rodgers called them like off cuts or, outcasts that are playing football. We're running now the QB sneak with Connor Hayward, and that's working to a certain degree, getting touchdowns. So I'm confident, but I'm still a little bit like on the fence of like, if they get smashed by the Lions, we just go back to reset. And they can't do that in December. You got to tackle these next 3 weeks. They have to win. To me, to have a chance for the playoffs, you got to win every single game. 1, 2, 3.
Vital next few weeks for Pittsburgh, no doubt about it. Some big games, including this upcoming weekend. We'll preview it later. Steelers, Lions. That should be an awesome one on Sunday. Well, a game that wasn't so awesome, at least if you're Zay and the Cleveland Brown faithful, it was the Chicago Bears taking on the Cleveland Browns in Week 15. Shedeur Sanders, this was not a great outing. Despite having a couple of decent ones in his first few starts, this one seemed like a welcome to the NFL type moment. 18 of 35, 177, 3 interceptions. The Cleveland Browns would finish with less than 200 total yards of offense. No ability to run the football whatsoever. Quinshon Judkins, 21 yards on 12 carries for less than 2 yards per. The Chicago Bears just absolutely dominated in this football game, winning 31-3 to improve to 10-4. Zay probably wouldn't want us to talk about it, but we'll spend a couple minutes here. Sam, what were your thoughts on the Browns just really getting worked here and even the defense not being able to step up?
I'm surprised. I'm absolutely shocked that not that they lost, but how they lost. I thought that the Bears defense is decent, but not enough to hold the Browns to 3 points. That shows me that, maybe he got a little bit too comfortable being that top guy maybe for a week. I don't know, but I guess shout outs to the Bears defense for it. But overall, and also the Browns defense, once again, I think another week where they looked like they weren't really that great. So all in all, I think it was just the Browns just being them. Time to pack it up, try again in 2026, and maybe just put some doubt on whether or not Shedeur is actually the guy. He has 3 more chances to prove it before the Browns may look elsewhere in the QB draft.
I get it's hard to get motivated when you're as bad as the Cleveland Browns have been this year, especially when you're in mid-December, but this is a whole different ballgame when you really just get flattened. Zim, what'd you make of the Browns here really not standing a chance against Chicago?
I wish Zay was here. I had a couple questions for him because I know last week he finally has a quarterback. And I think for a team that's very hungry for a quarterback, I get it, but it's tough, bro. Like, there's different variations of quarterbacks and there's different processes that go with it. I've been on record saying this whole season they should have played him from the beginning so you get a bigger sample size. I think it's a little crazy that last week some of the stuff, and I would love to ask Zay about some of those comments he was saying about he thinks that, no longer they have to worry about a quarterback. And he said the fan base was telling him that he literally doesn't have to do anything else. And I thought that he got a reality of what it's like when you probably have like an average quarterback that had a bad game, right? I still think that he could still be okay, right? I just think I've been on this show saying I think he holds the ball too long. And he held the ball too long. And I thought that he did a lot of the stuff that he was doing in college, and he was doing a lot of the stuff that he was doing in preseason. And he played a Bears team that went back and got their starting corners, and he wasn't playing the Titans. Like, here we are.
And that's why I do feel for Browns fans. You're excited to see somebody finally step up and play well. But, I mean, it's what has it been? 4 games? You've got to ride the roller coaster here a little bit, and we'll see what he ends up being. And I feel like this is a judgment-free end of the year here where Stefanski throws him in at the end. There's been so much controversy surrounding both him and Shedeur, and they were already so down and out to begin with when he came in. I don't know if you can adequately judge him, but then again, though, if you are a Browns fan who anoints him as the second coming when he plays well, you got to be willing to criticize him when he doesn't. That's the difference. So there's no middle ground with a lot of these takes, and it's not just this particular one. This goes for anything, by the way. There's always it's either completely on one side or completely on the other. We've seen good from Shedeur, Mark. This one, not so much. What did you make of what you saw from him and the Browns against the Bears?
I think pretty much it's just a reality check. The Bears want it more. They're going to be contending to be an NFC playoff team. They smashed him. This is a rookie that got a rude awakening. I don't mind the fan base getting after it and in all the media. They're trying to build him up and this and this. I saw bits and highlights, but you're throwing 3 picks, getting 5 sacks. That's rookie mentality. He'll probably work through this, and you know how it works. But I want to make this point because the fucking Browns do this every year, fellas. Let's not kid ourselves. Every single year they go and get a quarterback. This year they got 2, and then next year they'll get the next first-round quarterback, and they do it all again. And they put them to the fire, and it doesn't work out. And that Cleveland Brown quarterback list grows and grows and grows. 44 now, 43, whatever it is, since 2000. And they do this all the time. They go into we'll get him next year mode, and it's our turn next year. We'll build the park and get him next year, get him next year. And they never solve the issue that is quarterback. They can't. Like, I understand they might want to rush him. They want to see him play football and this and stuff like that. But they really, to me, they fucked up the season when they first start, and they had Joe Flacco there. Why not ride him out and play the season, let these guys sit behind him? Now, we've got a quarterback on our bench, and he's a third quarterback from, deep into the rounds in round 6. Not saying he's going to start with Will Howard, but that's a better, to me as a quarterback in this day and age, we simply chuck them in way too quick and they get burned to the fire. The defenses are so different to the college. You can't hold the ball as long. You can't do a lot of things you can do in college where you're the main man. Look at Johnny Manziel and what happened with the Browns there. They stuffed up Baker. This is an ongoing thing with the Browns. They'll play the next 3 games. They'll be like, I don't know what to do with Sanders. Do we bring him back? They'll go and draft a fucking quarterback in Pittsburgh. Zay will walk out there and say the name in round 1, and they'll start the process all again. Then we'll have the training camp, battle between this guy and that guy, or all 3 quarterbacks will be there. It's the same rinse and repeat thing all the time because they just can't figure it out. The biggest thing now the Browns have them going for them is Myles Garrett stat counter. That's it. That really, fellas, that's it. This Browns team is not a good team.
If the season were to end today, the Cleveland Browns would have the 4th overall pick in the draft. Will it be a quarterback? I somewhat doubt it. We'll see what it ends up being. Plenty of time to talk about the draft. In the offseason, we got to talk about Week 16, which is a massive Week 16 coming around the bend. Before we get to that, let's get to our friends over at RotoWire, who have you covered with a ton of premium features, including their NFL odds tool, one of my favorites, where you can look at all of the lines for every single NFL game all in one place, comparing all of the major sports books against one another. That way, you get the best line for each and every game. Like Thursday night, where the Rams, you can get the best line for them over on DraftKings, the best line for the Seahawks over on FanDuel. You can observe each and every game and decide which value makes the most sense for you using the premium tool over on RotoWire, the NFL odds premium tool. That's just one of the many tools that you can take advantage of with a premium RotoWire subscription. Link in the description below. Click that, sign up, and use the promo code RTS once you do, and that will get you a 15% off discount on that premium subscription. I mentioned Thursday Night Football, and fellas, it does not get much bigger than the game we have coming our way in a little over 24 hours from now, the Battle of the NFC West, where really the title for that division could very well be on the line. You got 2 teams with 11 wins looking to become the king of that division and likely the 1 seed. It is the Seattle Seahawks. It is the LA Rams. Get in on that action by building a sleeper slip like I did. I got more than a half pass yard for Sam Darnold. That's the free pick. Matt Stafford, more than 229 and a half passing yards. Puka Nacua to get in the end zone. Devontae Adams hurt, so I think more of a chance for Puka to get in the end zone there. Get in on the action. You're going to want to, because this game is going to be incredible. Link in the description below. Click that. Sign up for a sleeper account, and once you do, you will immediately get a free $20 entry. Once you use your free $20 entry, use the promo code on your screen, RTS, and that will get you a 100% match up to $100 on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper Terms of Use for details. Currently available in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper via the link in the description below. We turn the page from Week 15 to Week 16, and we'll start with the reason why Zay is not here tonight. He did not want to preview the battle of Lake Erie between the Buffalo Bills and the Cleveland Browns. The Bills coming off a insane W, down 21-0 to the New England Patriots to snap their 10-game win streak to improve to 10-4. The Browns coming off a shellacking to the Cleveland Browns, 31-3. They're 3-11. It'll certainly be cold, and whenever these 2 teams meet, it is usually ugly. It actually kind of feels like an AFC North game, but that's because the Bills are right in the vicinity of all these AFC North teams. Mark, I'll start with you here. Bills, Browns, who do you got and why?
Which Sanders we're gonna get? We're gonna get the touchdown Sanders, or we're gonna get the one that's getting smacked around by the Bills and getting chased and getting sacked and getting interceptions. I think this one. I know that the Bills are trying to fight for the division crown. We're trying to keep up with the Patriots. So this is Josh Allen. I think they come to their house. I'm not saying they're going to score like them to 0, but I've got the Bills. Let's go 31-10, and maybe you'll hear a lot of fans booing from the crowd. It's in Cleveland Brown Stadium, but does that hurt their draft pick? Do the owners think about that? Does the players do they want to play football? Is the season over? Myles Garrett's trying to chase his sack record. Hopefully, if he does break it, hopefully he'll break it to this game and not the week after, because the Browns fans will hold that forever over Steelers fans, saying that Myles Garrett sacked you and got the 23rd sack of all time, or leading all time, whatever it may be. So I don't know if the Browns have really anything to play for, to be honest. I don't know if they're checked out 3 games to go. They've won 3 games, and is there fire talk for their coach? There's a lot of fire talk for my coach, but is there fire talk for their coach? But the Bills want it more. Josh Allen, TDs, he'll run the rock as well. I'll go 31-10. I think the Bills win.
Mark, you're a smart man. Zim, are you as smart as Mark here in this one? Bills, Browns.
Yeah, man. The Browns just offensively won't be able to do anything. I think the one thing I will say is I think the Browns are going to piss you off.
Oh, I agree.
In terms of what they're going to do on defense, and you're going to be so upset, like, why are they killing us on our little screens? And why, they're going to stop some of that stuff. But in 4 quarters of football, they just don't have any offensive power whatsoever. You can easily put, 21, 24 points on them just off of field position for your team. Maybe not mine. Yeah. So that game, I mean, you guys should kick the shit out of them. I think it should be like a 20-point victory.
Yeah, I'll be watching, but this feels like a corner TV game for the rest of the nation. If you happen to tune in, Sam, who do you think wins once you're watching Bills-Browns?
It's going to be the Bills. I don't think there's any shot that the Browns have in this one. You give up a 28-point loss to the Bears, you're going to go on to this matchup and you're just going to get stomped out. So, yeah, unfortunately, it's not going to be a good day for Shedeur either. I think he's going to be pressing, because I think even though the Browns team is going to give you some fits, I think you're going to put some points up on the board, and then it's going to be up to Shedeur to kind of match that. So maybe some more interceptions on the way for Shedeur. So, yeah, give me the Bills. I think they win by – I like that 31-10 score that Mark said, so give me that.
We'll stay in the 1 p.m. Eastern window. The Miami Dolphins coming off that beatdown from Mark's Pittsburgh Steelers. Now they take on Zim's Cincinnati Bengals, who are coming off of a beatdown of their own against the Ravens. So something's got to give here. What ends up giving? I'll start with you here, Mark. Who ends up winning this one? You just saw Miami. You know what they're capable of. Are they capable of beating Cincinnati in Week 16?
This is interesting, because I think if the Bengals were a chance to be a playoff team and they had a bit of a run, maybe they were sitting around seven victories or something like that, I reckon they would absolutely fucking smash the Dolphins, 42 to whatever, right? Bengals in this offense, a really good offense, Jamar Chase, these guys, all the weapons. But I don't know where they're sitting and what they want to accomplish, what they want to do. They want to come out and play football. Of course, everybody wants to compete. But what is this Bengals team? Are they going to try and turn it around and win 3 in a row to feel better for the next season? You'd probably say on paper, the Bengals are the better team. You go to the betting markets and it's like 50-50. The Dolphins are starting Quinn Ewers. I think that's one of those blokes out there. He's starting for the Dolphins. They've benched Tua. What happens with their coach too, with Mike McDaniels? No idea how he still has a fucking job. I don't understand that. I don't think he's a head coach in this league. But as much, look, I really want to say they're going to lose the Bengals. They've already been eliminated. I think Joe Burrow can turn this around. I think they'll win this one quite comfortable as well. I think I'm going to go 34. I don't know. I think the Dolphins struggle. 34-10. I think something crazy like that happens. I know defense has been playing too well. But the Bengals, if they want to end on a high note, do they want a draft pick going down one way, or do they want to end on a high note, win 3 in a row, and then start fresh next year in 2026? Even though it kills me to say it, but Bengals 34-10.
Mark's got the Bengals. Sam, who do you got between Miami and Cincinnati?
Yeah, this is another one. The Bengals got this. I think the Bengals just do too much on offense for this Dolphins team, and you're putting all of your chips on Ewers being the guy after benching Tua. I think, benching Tua was the right call, but against this Bengals team who's also going to be scoring a lot of points. That defense isn't bad. I think if that, well, they are bad, but I think that if you put points on the board like that, you're going to be pressing on the other side of the field, and I think that's going to cost them. So I think the Bengals win this one pretty easily as well. Give me a 24-7 win for the Bengals.
Sam just gave us a reason as to why the Cincinnati Bengals won. Zim, are you going to give us a reason why your Bengals are going to win, or are they going to drop another one here in back-to-back weeks?
Man, I think that this thing could go two different ways, right? I think, and both of them are crazy as hell. I think on one end, you'll see Burrow just look like he's giving up, and all hell's going to break loose. On the other, because and then. Okay, that's one end of the spectrum where I just think that mentally something is wrong with him. Like off the field, his answer is like, like he just sound different. Like I watch all the Joe Burrow pressers. Whatever's going on with him, I just think that that's going to be messed up. I mean, that could be one scenario. The other one is he goes out there, throws a touchdown early, and just beats the dog shit out of him. Like, so I'm just like, and because Jamar, T's back practicing now. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's gonna play. Shamar Stewart, who's been gone the whole season, he's practicing now. Like the whole team is back outside of Trey Hendrickson. And I do think that they would just finally come back and be like, that's another thing too. I think in that Ravens game, I think it looks a little bit different with T. Higgins. You had a Tinsley drop touchdown. You had drops by Jamar early. Like, I don't know. Like, I just think it looks a little different with him. Ravens just escape T. Higgins every damn time. I don't know how. It's insane. It's so insane. Do you know this dude has only played them 2 times in like the last 4 years, bro? It's insane. A division dude. All right, so I'm gonna take the in-between on that, and then the Bengals just figure out a way to win this one. I'm gonna say 24-10 because the Bengals defense is they're playing better. It's just they need points, and that's the thing. Like if he comes out there and does something crazy, it wouldn't shock me though to like just come out there and throw like an early pick because he's just so in his head. That would not shock me. But I'm gonna go with the other one, Quinn Ewers or whatever bro's name is. Like I don't know. I just think Bengals defense has a lot more to prove in that sense. A lot of them dudes are trying to like make the roster for next year. Dolphins are kind of in tank mode. They released Matthew Judon and stuff. Like I think the tank is officially on for them at 6-8, which is crazy. But I think our team is stupid enough to try to win.
Let's go to one of the bigger games of the weekend, 4:25 p.m. Eastern. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road at Ford Field against the Detroit Lions. 2 teams fighting for their playoff lives. The Detroit Lions on the outside looking in. The Steelers very well could be if they don't continue to stack wins. Both teams 8-6. Both teams need a W. Sam, what are you making of this big one between Pittsburgh and Detroit?
This is the game that I had circled on my calendar. Ever since the streak started, I said this will be the game that slows the Steelers team down. I like the Lions in this contest. I will say I have a lot of friends who are Lions fans that are very nervous for this game because they think that DK Metcalf is that dude, which he has shown to be these last couple of days. So that's something to look out for. I just think the not having TJ Watt because it doesn't look like he's going to play is going to hurt them. Derek Harmon coming back is huge for the Steelers because he'll be able to slow down what that running game, what the Lions have, that 2-headed monster that the Lions possess will do. But I still think that this is going to be in Ford Field. The Lions are fighting for a playoff spot. The Steelers don't necessarily have to win this game. If they lose it, they're still in the game for Week 18 regardless. The onus is really on the Ravens, but the Lions need to win this game in order to stay relevant in the NFC. I'm praying on the prayer that the Lions get it done and Aaron Rodgers falls back to earth. So give me the Lions to win. I'd say 34-31. 34-31.
All right. High scoring one predicted by Zim. Who do you got winning this big one? Lions, Steelers.
This is a tough one. I actually might watch a Steelers game this year. This might be like one now that they're looking a little better. Like, okay, let me watch a Steelers game. If you would have asked me this 2 weeks ago, I'm like, the Lions about to smash them. I think the game is a lot closer than what I anticipated. I'm still going to go Lions in this one. I guess I'm on official hate watch. Even though, Mark, I want you to know I'm rooting for you to go in. I don't need purple people in the playoffs. So, you're going to take the L maybe this Sunday, But I do think that I'll show you later on the show how it won't even matter.
Wow, some foreshadowing there by Zim. Mark, what do you got going down Sunday, late afternoon window, big one between your Steelers and Lions?
Fellas, it must be fucking Christmas or something because Zim's like, wants us to go to the playoffs. He's going to, have a chance to win. We're a good team. I like this Zim, It's refreshing to see that he likes the Steelers. It's good. But this is a big game. You know what's funny? I say that every fucking week. I say it's a big game, it's a huge game. And I always said to one of my mate's like, it's a huge game. And I'm like, oh, that's right. I say it every week. But it really is a huge game. If the Steelers don't win this one, it doesn't end their playoff season, sure. But like I said, you need to win this game, the next one, I think, to have that momentum going into the playoffs and be a bit of a scary team. Someone coming into Heinz Field, Acrisure Stadium, and have that chance to win the playoff game. On the other side, the Lions need to keep relevant too. They've got, all their weapons, Laporta, they got Amon-Ra St. Brown, they got Jahmyr Gibbs, they got Montgomery, the two-headed monster. Like, they're going to be hard to stop. Jared Goff, he's a really good quarterback. So I don't know what we're going to get. So I'm just hoping, and Derek Harmon coming back to stop the run is going to be fantastic. But I'm hoping our defense can just be competitive. They can try to be physical. Now, I'm not predicting that we smash them in any case. I'm hoping for like a kind of a Chris Boswell kind of win. And Aaron Rodgers knows his team, inside and out. He's got a good record against the Lions, but that was many, many years ago. Lions right now, I've got their back against the wall because they're trying to stay relevant in the NFC to build their chance for playoff success. And this could be one the Steelers could drop and still win the Browns and Ravens and win the division. But I want my team to be competitive. So I'm going to take the Steelers in this one because I'm a Steel fan and I do want them to win because I believe that's the only way the Steelers can win a playoff game if they win 2 or 3 or 4 in a row and they have they're confident, they're good to go at home. I'll go something like, I think a high scoring game as well. We've known now the Steelers can score points. They scored 28 last week. The Lions can score points. Let's go field goal win, 30-27 in the last second. Chris Boswell win. Something like that's got to happen for us to win. It's going to be a very, very entertaining game. This could have been a primetime game, but 4 p.m. window is pretty good too.
Well, let's talk about a game that is a primetime game, a game that should be pretty good, a game that is also huge. The New England Patriots taking on the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday Night Football. This game was flexed into the Sunday Night Football spot. Under the lights are the New England Patriots, coming off a game in which they've lost for the first time in 10 consecutive games. The Baltimore Ravens coming off of a big W over Cincinnati to keep their AFC North hopes alive. Zim, I'll start with you here. Patriots, Ravens, primetime. Who do you got?
I got them Patriots. Tell you that right now. I got them Pats. I think that if they cannot, the Ravens cannot come out there like they just came out there against the Bengals. Like, I just think that Travion Henderson and Drake May going to put points up like early and often in this game. When I say early, I mean like 10 points. That just changes everything. Like, you're not going to get your Derrick Henry on the field. You're not going to get all these things. Like, once you get up with them, and that's what you want. And I think their secondary is good enough to cover the wide receivers of the Ravens. I like the Patriots in this game. I'm gonna go ahead to the week after that too. I like the Packers in that game as well.
Wow, giving us a little bit of a week 17 preview. Why
Spoiler alert. Michael Parsons being out is very unfortunate. I think it sucks, but Patriots.
Christmas coming early for Baltimore Ravens haters, apparently. Mark, are you unwrapping a Ravens W or a Patriots W in a massive Sunday night game?
There's no way I can cheer for a Ravens W. There's absolutely no way. I need the Ravens to lose 2 in a row so we can just win one game and win the division. However, this is a massive matchup. This is huge. Are the Patriots back with their quarterback? Are they, have a chance now to win Super Bowls? And, times it's beyond now Tom Brady in the years of Bill Belichick. It does seem like that. They won about 7-8 in a row. They had a close game with the Bills. The Bills came back and won that, but that's like a divisional game. Can they go into Baltimore, like in Baltimore, and can they back it up and have a victory over them inside their house? It's going to be very tough. To me, it just depends if Lamar Jackson is going to fumble the football or throw it away, and if they play their old school Raven football where they do that option run Lamar Jackson hasn't been running as much, though. If they can hand the ball for Derrick Henry, can be more physical. But does the offense on the other side with Drake May and his weapons, so they open it up and start to score points and then put pressure on the Ravens to be up by 14-3 or something like that? Ravens fans in the stadium get a bit like, oh, do I go home? Is it too cold? Am I going to get another beer? I think the Patriots can win this one, and if they start early like that, score points early, it's going to make the Ravens pass and do things they shouldn't do when they should just be running the rock like they're really good at. In that playoff game last year, I know it's a different team since then, but the playoff game last year, they cooked the Steelers running like 299 yards. They got to play that style of football in December. If the Ravens can do that, they'll give themselves a chance and hope for the division. If they lose this one, then you've got to wait and see if the Steelers lose a game so you can try and win the division in the last week. But two tough games with the Patriots and Packers. But I've got the Patriots winning this game in a close one with a fumble here and there, interception by Lamar Jackson, something like that. Patriots win 27-26, something really close. This is a fucking huge game. I'll be down the pub, having schooners, having beers, eating some food, and watching the Patriots win. I got to cheer for the fucking Patriots now. That's crazy.
Sam, this is a huge game under the lights against what looks to be one of the league's best teams. We'll see if they can get back on track after winning 10 straight, then losing. Huge. 11-3 Patriots, 7-7 are your Ravens. Who takes it on Sunday night?
I can't believe I'm hearing this from you guys. I'm actually pretty shocked. I was more concerned about the Bengals doing damage to this Ravens team than the Patriots. I'm not a believer in the New England Patriots, not at all. And I've watched extensive film. I won't say extensive, but I've watched film since Monday of what this Patriots team can do. I don't see it. Especially with Tavius Robinson back, being able to set the edge, they're going to have to run the football. Their MO is running the football against the defense to get the ball going down the field. And the Ravens do a very decent job of stopping the run. That means it's going to be up to Drake May to be Joe Burrow, to be, MVP type of quarterback. I don't see that. I just don't see it. So I think the Ravens win. I think they win big. The Ravens are currently the favorites to win this game as well. They're 3-point favorites. I think the Ravens are going to win this by double digits. I don't think that the Patriots have what it takes to move the ball down the field. You need a top tier receiver. Zim knows this. You need a big time receiver to be able to defeat this Ravens defense. You need a big time quarterback to do it as well. I don't think the Patriots have either of those. So I'm picking the Ravens to win. I think they win, I'd say 28-13. I think it's going to be. Oh, and actually, that was the score. The Ravens beat the Patriots in the AFC Championship in 2012, if you guys remember correctly. So, yeah, I think it's going to be one of those games. I think the Ravens got it for sure. I'm more concerned about the Steelers game in a couple of weeks, but I think this Patriots game, the Ravens do take the W.
Love it, Sam. I'll be rooting for your Ravens as well. So looking forward to that Sunday night game. Looking forward to an awesome Week 16. We're looking forward to having you back same time, same place next week, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Actually, I just realized that is Christmas Eve. We will not be here next week. So we'll have a double dose for you. Good thing Zim already told us that the Ravens are losing to the Packers because he got out ahead of that. So we will not be with you.
Got to get out in front of it.
Got to get out. We got to get out ahead of it and tell you Merry Christmas and happy holidays. We will not be here next week. So we want to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday. We'll be back with you the following week to get you set for the season ender, which is crazy that we're already here. But once again, we hope you have a great holiday. That's going to do it for us here on this episode of the AFC North Roundtable. For Sam, Mark, Zim, and Zay, who will be with us next time, I'm your host, Z-Bot. Thanks so much, as always, for tuning in to the AFC North Roundtable, and we'll see you on the next.
Roundtable Sports Network is your one-stop shop for all things NFL, with daily live shows covering all 8 divisions in the league, hosted by the best content creators on the web, all on one network. Catch the AFC East live every Monday at 7 p.m. and on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. The AFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. The AFC North Roundtable live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. The AFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. The NFC East Roundtable live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. The NFC West Roundtable live at 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. The NFC North Roundtable is at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, And the NFC South Roundtable is live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. EST. And of course, fourth and forever, the flagship show of Roundtable Sports Network covering all things NFL at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Roundtable Sports YouTube channel. Real coverage, real fans.